Of course.
Nigeria education system is a full system.
So should we choose certificate over competence or competence over certificate?
When you come out to the real world, you see somebody who has a second class lower, third class pass, doing better than a lot of people in the first class.
Of course, it's true.
I had
But somebody having first class is not a testament of the person's doggedness.
Any person that is failing is not really functioning where he or she is supposed to. If you are failing, watch closely. You are not in the right place.
Yeah, I agree with you. Why you are in formal education, try to acquire a skill.
Hello and welcome back to another season of the Untamed Podcast. Drum roll, please. For those that have missed us, we are back and we are back with a banger. We are back like we never left. So, welcome to a new season of the Untamed Podcast. And I still remain your host, Ebube, or you can call me Boo Boo. Today with me in the studio, I have three fantastic guests. You know, I don't bring the regular. If you look at them, you will know that these are people that have ngalaba, people that have doings, people that have seen life. So they're going to speak to us today. But first of all, they will introduce themselves to us. So by my right, we have...
Mwazo Chibuzo.
Tell us what you do as well.
Well, I'm an insurance advisor.
Right, he's an insurance advisor. His name is Chibuzo. To my left, we have...
Mesoma Ukuji, and I'm an IT project manager.
And to his left.
Well, my name is Ekene Chukuma, and I'm into HR, admin, project management, and at the same time, I'm a social worker.
Okay. As you can see, you guys, we have powerhouses here today. So we're going to be speaking on the topic today is education a scam. You know, over the years, we've heard school na scam. Some other people, school no be scam. Some other people, you know. So today we're going to be getting different people's perspectives. First and foremost, these guys are educated. So we do not bring people who no go school. Everybody here is educated. Mr. Chibuzo, what did you study in school?
I studied philosophy and religion.
Okay, sharp. Mr. Ma, what did you study?
I studied marine biology.
Ekene, what did you study?
I studied business administration, major in finance, and minor in human resources.
Nice. Me, I studied microbiology. I also studied English language. So today we're going to check. We're going to know whether these 4 years or these 8 years that we put into school is really scam or not. I'm going to start with Mesoma. Mesoma, is education a scam?
Okay, so firstly, from what Chibuza said, Chibuza said he studied philosophy and religion,
Yeah.
and he's now into insurance. Like I said, he's doing
That's Nigeria for
business. He studied business administration, major and minor, and he's, in a way, I can see that he's still because in HR now. So
And I studied microbiology.
and he studied microbiology,
And I'm doing podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I studied microbiology, and
And where do you work?
and I'm a project manager in fintech currently. So it's two things. Then when we were in school, at some point I was afraid them to sing last school na scam because at some point we were tired. Because there's some things we're learning, and even based on project wise, that we know that where are we going to practice these things?
People have lagoon in your school now.
Well, yes. I mean, we had a lecturer that was very devoted to the course and was taking us there, was using our legs to enter the lagoon, going to sign attendance and all of that. But we knew that how many of us are going to carry this on. So in a way, there's education and there's school. So education in a way is like we're trying to get skill. We're trying to learn something. Then school is like we're following principles and procedures. There's a certificate at the end of it. So I would say that maybe we need to differentiate between education and schooling.
Okay.
So, but let me just speak for now and say education is not a scam. We're going further with
Education is not a scam. And we're not seeing inside water. Okay. Mr. Chibuzo, what do you think? Is education a scam? Seeing that you're an insurance officer and you not study it.
Well,
You're not a pastor.
philosophy and religion. Well, from this angle, I stand with the point that education to me sometimes is a scam. Now, why do I say it's a scam? I see education as programming. Programming. And people sit down, invent something, and try to impact that knowledge into others. And me saying I'm trying to come from the angle of, okay, most of all, okay, in the education set, I'm talking specifically in the Nigerian setting.
Okay, yes.
Most of us, we are born into families. Some of us, looking at the kind of settings in Nigeria, some are from different tribes. We have the Igbo, we have the Yoruba, we have the different this thing. And by the time we finish, maybe you give birth to a child, next thing you send the child to school. They start learning something different from the normal system they were brought in. Okay, for instance, an Igbo man, they tell us what is a cup. Or you tell us, okay, what is a plate? And in Igbo, they call what? Plates, efere. And when as you grow up and you start learning something different from, I feel that education is supposed to be something that resonates with your community.
So are you saying that learning something new is adverse?
No
knowledge is a waste.
No, the angle I'm coming from is education should be something geographical. Checking the Nigerian settings, and a child born in the UK, they were born and they started speaking English. Did they start teaching them from the angle of A is for apple? I don't know if you understand. I'm trying to compare the system of education in Nigeria.
Okay.
And if you look at it, tell me when we are growing up, we say start speaking vernacular in class. Mm-hmm. And English is not our language.
But this is not the bone of contention.
I see it as you are giving us somebody program something different from what does not resonate with our nature in Nigeria.
Why would you say it does not resonate with your nature? Are you a caveman that education will not resonate with your nature?
No, not really in the area of caveman. Okay, now let me now break.
Because education is learning something new, getting better. So if you say that learning something different from your where you find yourself on the map is adverse, then you're saying you want to remain a caveman, you want to remain small, because people say that if you don't have flight ticket, you can travel by books.
Okay.
So you can travel by books. People that read go far.
And that's the area I'm coming from.
And books create your imagination.
Thank you.
That's a very good angle you are coming from. But the area I'm trying to use Nigeria as a case study.
Okay.
I believe that education should be something that resonates with culture. That's the angle in Nigeria itself.
Okay.
Yep. Let me speak on that, on culture, because
Okay.
From the beginning, I don't think we had anything in Nigeria because we're just here, maybe with our traditions, maybe based on maybe religions, Amadio, Ashonga, and the likes. It was then until the British people came and started introducing us to religion, introducing us to English language, and then education. Because then only the few enlightened ones that could work with the British because they understood English. So if you want to succeed, if you want to be successful, go to school, get a job. When you go to school, then you get a job. So there was not really like a process. There was not like a plan for how things are supposed to be.
Actually, there was.
What was the plan?
There was. You know, if you read, or if you're somebody that is into history, yes.
Okay. I want us to look at something. I know we're speaking about education here. I happen to be in the education sector for over 12 years. And I currently work in an organization that takes quality education to the slums, from slum to school Africa. And I've been to over a countless number of slums on the South communities, IDP camps, yes, in the north, in the south, in Lagos. And we currently just built a school that houses 250 children.
Wow.
Across the water in Egbesaka. So first things first, what is education?
Okay.
Education is a continuous process of acquiring
Knowledge.
skills, values, we need to function effectively in the society.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you say you want to bring education to compare with the Nigerian system, you don't do that. I will tell you why. Education is not a scam.
Okay.
Because there are different types of education.
Okay.
That's why we have the formal education, the informal education, the semi-formal education, and we have this. That's why you have.
You felt it at the
Said that a long time ago.
Exactly. We last had a long time.
You
ago.
have things like
forgotten.
skills, vocational, vocational and skill acquisition programs. That's where you have the mentorship programs. That's where you have the what the Igbo man call Nwaboy.
Apprenticeship system.
That's education.
Now, I'm going to break education down. Education involves learning. Learning is the key word.
Okay.
I teach, you learn. You
Okay.
are taught, you learn. Now, if you are not learning, you cannot be educated.
Okay.
Now, it takes that's why they say learned minds. Someone is learned. You must learn in order to be educated. You must be taught in order to be educated. So when you are taught, you learn. But if you don't learn, you cannot be educated.
Okay.
Mind that. Now, we have defined education. Now, let's bring it down to the Nigerian system. The system is a failed system, not education.
Yes, I believe
So
so.
you cannot.
Exactly.
And I feel like we should also
That's my point.
differentiate between education and school.
Yeah.
So
School system.
when you say school, that's why they say you pass through school. You must
And
also
school
allow
passes
school
through.
to pass through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's why when you graduate from the university, they say this person has been certified to be found worthy in
Character
what?
learning.
Character, learning. You see? So you cannot define education without the keyword learning. That's why they say it is a continuous process. Every day you learn. You see people who have not gone to enter the four walls of a school having certain skills. I will give you examples. If you go to YouTube and watch a video and learn how to think and learn how to do something, learn how to do something. You know, that's the applied education. Now, if an apprentice is taught how to fix this, for instance, he has learned how to do something, he's educated. That's his education. If I go to school and like my Mesomaya studied marine engineering, marine biology, he has learned that. That is the fact that he's not working in that field does not mean that he's educated. In the current field he's working in, he learned how to do it. That is education.
Okay.
Now, that's why education is not necessarily you going out of your field or you coming back to your field. And the education is anything you learn and put to use, or you can put to use. That's education.
Okay, so why did we now spend 4 years studying all this?
So Nigeria
that we're not going to use.
Nigeria is
Why did we do
It's a
that?
failed system.
Nigeria education system is a failed system.
Should I be-
Now, and
Okay.
the one of the problems is the certificate mentality.
Okay.
See, certificate without competence is zero.
Of course.
So you can have the certificate and you don't have the competence. See, that's why I always advise people, graduates coming out of school, even before you go out of school, learn a skill. You see somebody who did not even attend the four walls of a university being a tech bro
Okay.
without a university certificate.
Real.
Because
Some engineering
you
students
learned
cannot
it.
fix bulb.
So education is a continuous process of learning.
Okay. So in this last sentence that I made, someone that didn't go to the forward in school, being a devil and making money. Someone that is in school trying to struggle to finish even is a third class or a pass, and see this guy make it to be like it's all the scam. Why am I
Why
stressing?
am I not going to school?
Because these are the things, these are the issues now. We have high expectations and we meet low outcome. Because they're in school, let me give example. I had engineering roommates from my second year, and I see how tough these guys are. I had guys that are in final year engineering and some that are in year two, and you see the struggle of how they're trying to do some calculation just to pass. They're not even expecting to get A's or B, but I don't want to have a career by in these schools. And then such a person would finish and come out to society and then try to get a job, maybe even in that same field or something similar, gets difficult. And that thing again is, I would say, apart from the high expectation and low outcome, and that thing is rising cost of tuition. When I was in school, I could easily pay my school fees myself. Even if by then my parents want to pay because they felt it's their responsibility. Then school fee was still, because I was in science, I was paying almost 20,000 naira a year. But now, what I mean, students pay is over
Like
200,
300
and I'm like, how are these people even coping? And I was at an event and someone was saying, no, he has exams to do shorthand. I'm like, I'm busy learning shorthand in tertiary institution.
That's another thing. Overhauling.
Let's slow down.
Okay.
Go back.
Okay.
Now, when you say education is a scam,
Okay.
we define education. If I learn how to make this light, it's education. Education is not necessarily that you're within the four walls of the school, and people coming out with first class 2-1 does not mean that they're competent.
Okay, so
there's
Kene, should we ditch? Should we ditch?
There's a difference
Our
between
formal education?
there's a difference between certificate and competence.
Okay.
That's a very big line.
Okay, so what me I'm asking now?
Now, how do you bridge that gap? I think that's something we should be looking at. It's still education.
Okay.
Now, I'll say something here. Our educational system is not practical.
It's outdated.
It's an outdated system.
Outdated.
And you cannot say because
okay.
we have an outdated system of education is a scam.
And that outdated
when you go to
major
when you go to the other parts of the world, the Western world, where education is the curriculum is being updated.
Progressively,
What is
the world.
happening in the current world? I have a video on my laptop. That video is from my boss's visit to China, and and I also went back to do a couple of researches, and I discovered that the people who work, who make those clothes that you wear in China, are prisoners in the prisons.
Okay.
Who build the roads in Nigeria? They are Chinese prisoners. So they use they teach them these things in prison education, and they take them out to complete their sentences, building these roads for free. You don't pay them. So that is a way of them serving their sentences. Now that is a system that has seen education up to the current situation of the world. So their curriculums are always updated. If you go to US, the same thing. You go to China, the same thing. You go to UK, the same thing. That is why people are going outside to school if they can afford it. Yeah. In Nigeria, our educational system, our curriculums are outdated. How can a lecturer be using a lecture note of 1998 to teach in 2025?
If you pick a note,
there is no practicability.
No update.
There's no
The
the questions are not updated. They keep repeating questions.
That
is why I went to school and I used past question of 1998
and answer the questions of change
and then they come out
questions were basically
of course
the same. You understand?
Even when you don't even answer it the same as
There's no
Okay.
update. So you cannot say education is a scam because Nigeria's education system is a failed system. It is the system that is the problem, not education.
Then if it is failed, why not? Okay.
No, finish off.
Now,
do you know that you can? Okay, let me give you an example. I wanted to learn a particular skill. I went to YouTube because nobody will teach you that in the school. So I went to YouTube and I watched videos. I watched it took me a week to watch about 8 hours of videos to actually understand that stuff and learn it. Nobody nobody sat down to teach me how to use Excel. Nobody sat down to teach me how to use a couple of those tools.
Okay.
I had to sit down by myself and learn it. That is education.
Okay. Mr. Chibuzo, let's hear what you wanted to say.
Now, the area I was really coming from is particularly the field system we have in the country. Because what we are saying, education, as he said, which I admit the fact that we have different types of education. Now, on there's a particular WhatsApp group. I had a little clash with someone on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And the person was, somebody was opting for the presidency of the association. And on the group, I don't always comment. So suddenly, somebody now attacked him and said, you no go school. You don't even speak English. And in the process, somebody else now said, but this guy served his oga as a boy and learned, and he had been settled and he's very, very okay now. And the person was saying he did not go to university, he cannot lead. Do you know the issue I have with the Nigerian education? Now, when he said, I now said, he did not go to school, right? But he served an oga. Is that not a form of education? That's what I asked him. That's one. Now, the issue I have in the Nigerian education system being a scam, why I stand that is this. The professors, let me say, a French professor speaks French. A Spanish professor speaks Spanish. Now, why will our own professor speak English?
Sorry to.
I'm just coming from that angle.
Sorry
But
That's the reason I'm saying that the
But we use
education
Western
in
education.
You're still
Western education.
saying what I'm saying. We cannot say education is a scam because the Nigerian education system is a failed one.
that is the point.
So we cannot say
And it is it
Because
being a
the
failed
topic- the
system
topic here-
makes it a scam.
The topic here is education a
It's
scam?
scam.
So we
But the
cannot
case
say
studies in
you
Nigeria.
cannot say
So should we
education
choose-
is a scam. So what you're talking about is the system of Nigeria. The Nigerian
We're not talking
system
about the
is
educational.
failed.
Okay.
Now
the system.
Now what we are focused on here is education a
a
scam.
scam. Yeah.
Now, education is not a scam. You cannot say it's a scam because the system in Nigeria is
In
failed.
Nigeria, of course.
It's an outdated system, purely outdated. Curriculums are outdated, lecture notes are outdated. What do you want to talk about? There's no practicability.
Of course.
Even in our so-called polytechnics, there's no practicability anymore. Those days when you go to the polytechnics, you see practicability in action. People go for what do you call it? Internship. They learn. But these days, you see somebody who is studying engineering, doing internship in finance. What has finance?
Finance
Why are you
and
talking about? Some people stay in their house and feel that no book.
I feel the internship.
And
I study
stamp.
philosophy and religion, but I'm working in an insurance.
that is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Okay.
You cannot say education is a scam because the system is failed.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about a failed system,
Okay.
let us focus on a failed system and speak about it. But the current discourse is education is scam.
So should we choose certificate over competence or competence over certificate?
No, okay.
Now that's what
Yes.
certificate mentality.
Yeah.
Now, I remember my days in the university. I had this friend, Abdul. He will say, just want to get this certificate. Let me just get
That was
That's
almost
like
everybody.
that's the
understand?
popular
And
saying.
that was popular.
People just come out.
But-
Yes.
Looking at
my-
the system we have.
Yeah, let me just get
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
That's why you see when you come out to the real world, you see somebody who has a second class lower, third class pass, doing better than a lot of people in the first class.
Of course, it's true. I get you.
I'll tell you that for free because it's things I've seen practically. Now, so most of these people you see in those regions, it's not like they are I'm saying go to school and get a top class. The 2-1 is great, the first class is fantastic. But what is that certificate you're getting? It's not just, you should not just work for the certificate. You should be able to learn practicable things that will that when you come into the real world, you'll be able to function. Because if education, the real definition of education is continuous learning to acquire skills and values that help you to function effectively in the society, in the real world. That is the definition of education. So when you have a certificate and you just went and do what we call la cram la pour, you cram and you pour.
But it's not easy to cram, man. You have to be dogged to cram.
At the end of
What
the
do you
day,
mean?
you are not building any competence.
Yeah.
But when you study properly and you relate your study to recent happenings, to current happenings, to make it more practicable for you. I remember I had
But somebody having first class is not a testament of the person's doggedness.
it's a testament of doctors, but it's always garbage in, garbage out.
Of
Not
some
with
people,
doctors.
some people,
If it
some
was- if it
people
was
cram
that
and
easy-
what
because
If it was that easy, everybody
that's
should
why-
come in and
that's
do
why-
first class.
some people cram and what they
That's why the system.
Yeah, not come out to
release
first
is
class.
not even what they cannot even remember
That's
what
what
they
we're still talking about
crammed
the system.
after.
That's why the
writing
system.
it
But
down.
when you
Yeah.
go abroad, you discover that their system of education is quite different. Now they give you assignments every week.
Okay.
And that assignment is not for you to return what you have been taught. It's for you to go make your own research and come back with your own argument and your points. You must be able to state this from your own understanding.
Okay.
You understand? That is education. When you are able to learn something and state it from your own point of view, give your own understanding, give your own point of argument to that particular topic or subject of discourse. But the problem we have here is that it is
Valid
what lecturer taught you.
certificates
The valid
certificate over competence,
learning and competence. So the lecturer gives you something, you return what the lecturer has given back to be able to get full marks in that course or that subject matter, which is the issue. That is why we are breeding the wrong set of
graduates.
Graduates. So because that is why the system is failed. So you cannot now say because that is happening, education is a scam.
Sure, let's just speak on certificate over competency. So I would say I would not put it if they're in two ways. So firstly, for some major organizations in Nigeria and maybe even multinationals that have branches in Nigeria, when they want to get in intakes or get in maybe graduate training or entry level, you will just see minimum of 2-2, 2-1 first class. Okay, minimum of 2-2, which means if you have that 2-2, there's a little chance that you might not be able to get to the first stage of that job, which is why you really need to dig it well in school, even if it's still account malaport, because they're not even saying minimum of 2-2 in social studies or in mathematics. They're just telling you minimum of 2-2 in whatever you've studied. So which is why those are ways of let me just get this and pass. Because most of my, like even in bank institutions, like most of the finance institutions, whenever they want to recruit over like 200 entry level people and send them to their various branches, we see more of 2-2. Now, speaking of the part that we are passing through school and school must pass through you. If you check, that's why Nigeria used to try and have all these things like project defense, seminars, where they allow you on your own to prepare this thing, get a topic. Sometimes it's always in group, but sometimes it's always personal. I'll speak maybe based on one experience. For my third year in school, there's always seminar. And that seminar I used
Mine was from second year.
Yeah, okay. Second year was in group, but physically, when it was like a course and attached unit, we call it seminar. So on that one, you have to get topics. We share us to different supervisors. Supervisor will choose a topic for you. Then you go and create a deck, a presentation on that seminar. So you expect to do that presentation, and we still share hard copies. I mean, maybe because of them, maybe now it might be soft for everybody, but we make a slide, but you still need to print out copies to share to your lecturers. And at the back, you have to cite everywhere you got your information from. So, and then they were giving us marks from your dressing. So it was a must that you must be on blazer for your seminar, not even project defense. So, and that way, lecturers will not be able to ask you questions, because if you did this research yourself, you did presentation, your supervisor is not really doing much. You're probably just going to just look at your presentation to be sure it is well aligned with your outline. But everything, the speaking, the talking, is on you. So all those are the things that I would say that those are the things that I know that has put me to where I am today, because my job is more of talking. I'm speaking to stakeholders, I'm speaking to clients. Where are we today? Where are we tomorrow? So project defense was not really much. I was only asked one question because we came in as a group. We're like 6. Like the man just threw one question at each and every one of us and gave us our mark. So, but that's another thing. So we've allowed school to, in a way to pass through us, and you will see, because we always attended, you will see those that actually prepared those presentations themselves.
True.
It's always easy. I mean, one person.
I also feel like the routine of school,
So Nigeria always actually help. So you will see those ones that they're not even interested, and I'm like, what are you now studying in school? They just want to or maybe their parents are being forced there, or when we go to maybe to the G guys, they're already seeing one or two other guys that are saying making money the other way, and they're like, what am I studying here? I can do it if I go to that guy and teaches me. So that one now, we call it education.
I'll bring us back.
Yeah.
In the Nigerian education system, you'll find people who don't even know what they are studying.
Okay.
They don't even know what they are matriculating.
They'll say the school gave me.
Right.
So it's not what I applied for. Gave me. I didn't English. The school gave me.
Wow.
You see them paying people to write projects for them.
Yeah, of course.
Now that is where test and examination comes in. Now, for somebody who did not write their project themselves, and and they get an A in the project, that's a system, not education.
Okay.
Now, you can get a third class, for instance, but you're able to defend everything that you have studied, you have written, and you can tell this is this. There are in the Western world, practicability is more
Is a key thing, yeah.
over we don't value practicability. We always focused on let me get 2-1, let me make first class. First class is good
because that's what will get you jobs. If you know that your father is
Looking at the system in Nigeria,
well, looking at the Nigerian system,
certificate over.
I was like that too.
now
Because that was how we get a job.
that mentality needs to be flushed out.
I disagree with you.
It needs to be flushed out.
I disagree with you.
Yes,
Why?
it needs to. I will tell you why.
I disagree
Because
with you.
it has made a lot of people go into the 4 walls of the university and not build the competence that they're supposed to build. And because our education system and our labor market
Certificate
has
system.
defined
Yeah.
that, so it makes it very difficult for people to go to school and not have that certificate mentality. Understand? That's what we call certificate mentality.
Okay.
And it's a very terrible mentality that has destroyed a lot of graduates. That is why when they come out, somebody cannot even remember what he wrote in his final exams. Yes, this is a very big issue. I can tell you what I wrote in my project topic.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I can still tell you how I researched it. I can still tell you how I traveled from Zaria to Securities and Exchange Commission in Kaduna to get facts and figures.
That one.
That was them before AI. That was them before AI.
Wait, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
So my project was written solely by me, and
Okay.
it was. I told when I chose my topic, my professor said, "Don't do this, don't do this, do this." I said, "Sir, this is very stressful." He said, "I want you to work." Now, he put me to work, and I later realized that he wanted me to build that competence.
Yeah.
That is why till tomorrow, give me any topic, I will research it and do it myself. I will go to any net.
I don't know if there is any
That
school
is-
that doesn't do this.
That's education. There are people who don't do it. They just copy projects. I had a friend who just carried on the project, copied.
Well, that one is on the school, though.
Exactly, that one
that's
is on the school.
It's done everywhere.
No, in my own school, we do
not
plagiarism
no,
test. You
it's
do
not.
a
It's
mini
not.
defense
No,
before you even go for your defense.
Let me tell you.
No.
Let me tell you something. I can do plagiarism and defend it.
Nah.
It depends
What-
on personality.
Let me
Before
tell you.
he's saying
Let me
on
tell
the
you
area of
something.
giving
If
something
I
and
pick a
defending.
project that was written in 2004, for instance, I can update that project to 2025.
How are you going to cite it? Because in my department, we don't even accept citations from 10 years of the current year.
Thank you.
Now,
And there are different
let me tell you.
citing
Yeah, let me tell
styles.
you.
Yes,
You have to
you
stay
see,
to
you see these guys that write projects for people. They are very smart, and they'll get the citations for whoever they want to get it for. Now, it's now left for you
Exactly.
to just
Do
go
your
and study
thing.
it and defend
If
it.
you want to
And
cheat, if you want to cheat,
Now,
That's the paper. That's the paper.
That's what
studying
I'm
is
trying to
somehow.
tell you. In our education system, lecturers take bribes. Supervisors.
You say education is not a scam.
you're still on the school. Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
I said education is not a
I'm
scam.
talking about education.
Nigerian
I'm talking
education.
about the
Yeah.
system.
Okay, it's a scam.
Yeah.
The system and education are two different things.
Okay.
The system. When you go abroad, you also have that here, course advisors. Now, when the course advisor sees that you are not doing well abroad, they immediately call you. They will call your attention
You have
to
the
the fact that
counselors and
that you are
everything.
having.
They do that in my school.
My
They-
My
they do
department.
it
if on one point.
They do.
Yeah, they will try to know why.
No, let me land.
Well, not all schools. Nigeria.
Not all schools do it.
Yeah, not
When I was in the university, my friend was called, a friend of mine in my, not, I won't say friend, it was my classmate, but we used to talk. Our course advisor called him and sat him down and said, "These are your grades. Do you think you can continue?" Because he was as at 300 level first semester.
Advice to me, Joe.
as a 300 person go back. But that is, the problem we have in this part of the world is they will advise you to drop.
Just graduate.
Drop.
Well,
They like to
in
drop.
Nigeria,
But
graduate.
abroad, they want to help you see how you can improve your grades
Actually
before they
get
even
better.
give you that advice. Now, when this course advisor called him, we told him his this thing. The boy said something. The guy said something. He said he didn't really want to go to school,
Okay.
but his parents wanted him to get this
That is
certificate
certificate,
and then come back. Now he's suffering for something
He never wanted. Yeah.
and when I say he's suffering, he was writing below 1.0
Yeah.
CGPA
Wow. Sorry, guys.
as a 3 first.
He said that one no even enter
So
class.
the school had to withdraw him by themselves. Because by the time the second semester 200 level result came out, he was totally Fs.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, and that method my school used to do there in Unilag was that there are those in physical sciences like physics and mathematics. If you ask 90% of them, they'll tell that they applied for engineering,
And
this,
they gave
and that,
them,
then
yeah.
school gave them physics and maths. And we've seen their struggle. Those physics and those, when they get to their third day, it's always they are struggling to even get some grades. So
Yeah, they
most
start
times,
thinking.
instead of withdrawing, you move to biological sciences, maybe like biology, or I would even say chemistry, or chemistry was even tough, or they go to social science, where they can do psychology or something like that, and then they start from second year. It was happening very well in Unilag, like we had some inflow of students. But now I want to take you back to where you said having the mindset of we are coming to school and you see you want to come with first class at our 2-1.
No, that what I was talking about. I'm not talking about I can go to school with the mentality of having first. I'm not using the bad mentality. What I was talking about is the certificate mentality.
You know, we are talking
I
about
just want to go and
certificates
get-
over.
I just want to
over competence.
Those ones are also when we are
I
tired.
just want to go to
At
school.
some point, we
I
all
just
said
want-
that.
Yes, the journey is not easy.
Actually, of
But
course,
the first, what I'm saying is, do not go to school with the mentality of saying, let me just go and get the certificate. Go to school with the mentality of, one, you're going to learn.
of course.
Learning is key, and you're going to build competence in that learning. While you're building competence, you also focus on getting the best certificate.
Even building a
But in this point you said, don't you think that some people go to school and you are learning what you don't just want to learn?
So
Yeah,
that's-
I got it. So you are
That's a
learning what you
different,
don't
that's a
just
different
want to
topic. That's a
learn.
different
That's
topic.
different.
That's a different
No, I'm
topic.
coming from because where I'm coming.
Yes,
The area I'm coming
because
from
at that
is-
point you will
the
not
area
say, let me
I'm-
just get
the
the
area I'm coming
certificate.
from is looking at the angle of certificates
Yeah.
and
Okay.
competence.
Okay.
Somebody made a comment, and which I accept what the person said. The person said people fail because they are functioning where they are not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at one of our customer service at the office, to be sincere with you. Every time she comes to work, she does her makeup, this and that, every break. And one day I looked at her, sincere, now, do you know the funny thing? They have trained them, customer service, generate this thing, policy number, so many things. And every single, to not shock you, she had been in the system, let me say up to like 6 years before the new ones came in. You cannot believe that the new ones are even doing much more better than her. Now, one day I had to meet her. And every time when she comes, she wear one fine hair, this and that. I now had to ask her, say, sit down. To be blunt, I told her plainly. Do you know that? Sorry, I don't want to upset you. That's what I told her. But I feel that you are not supposed to be here. That's what I thought. She now said, well, I said, looking at you, don't you think you function well as a beauty queen?
Or makeup.
And when I told her, she felt, wow, that's serious. She said she had been sitting there many times analyzing in her head, and she notes that most time when she sees anything makeup and everything, it works very well with her, and she can sit down, do things even without being asked. And where I feel people get it wrong, especially from the angle of education, I feel that any person that is failing is not really functioning where he or she is supposed to function. Now, individually, every one of us, there are some things you know that you can just do without stress. There are some persons that, like right from childhood, even before I went to do some courses, you have an issue with your laptop, even when I had not even known how to operate laptop, I just Okay, I did. When somebody walked up to me, guy, why not advance yourself in all those things? So where I stand is, we should look about what is you itself. Because this area you are saying the angle of somebody go and study and there's a way you say something like somebody study and more of like study to learn. You will be learning what you don't want to learn.
We have been applying for medicine for like 3 years.
And I can't do
Why did you bother you?
And school will tell you.
Now let me shock you now.
Let's be a lawyer.
Now, funny, you know what I'm saying? So my view is, I don't see any person as a failure. That's my view. If you are failing, watch closely. You are not in the right place.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That is true. You are not in the right place.
I agree with you. But what I want us to focus on is education. Is it a scam?
We are looking education and is it
certificate
certificate and is it competence or what?
No, because it's for people in that category is mentioned are the ones that say education is a scam because it's not
Some
working
go
for
study
them.
engineering
It's not-
and you
it's
are
not
telling me
going
education
there.
is not
It's
a
not
scam.
happening for them.
Some go study engineering during the exam. They'll go they find who go write the maths.
Education is not a scam.
No, the Nigeria. I'm using Nigeria as a case study. To me, it's a scam.
The system
You put somebody where the person is not
is
supposed
a
to be.
failed system. It's a failed. You can't say a failed system made so. If I give this table, for instance,
Okay.
to two different carpenters to make, they never make it the same way.
Okay.
One can make it bad, and it doesn't look good. The other person can make it look so fine, and it doesn't mean that the process of learning it was a scam. It simply means that one person is better than the other
And
person.
the other person. Okay.
Now one person is creative
Yes,
than
it's
the other person.
more creative than the other person. And it doesn't also mean that the other person is a failure, just like you are saying. It's just that the other person is better than the other person. Now, let's apply that to education. Two of us can study the same course and we will understand the topic, whatever has been taught in that course differently. And we will go out to the real world and perform differently. Yes. Now, the most important factor is that we learned it.
Okay.
Now, if the system,
You force yourself
if
to
the
learn
system devalues what you have learned,
You force yourself to
if
learn
the
it.
system devalues what you have learned, it does not make what you have learned a scam. It is the system that has devalued what you have learned. And that is the issue.
Let's just say education system is a scam, not education is a scam.
Yes.
Nigerian education
Like
system.
Nigerian education
Yes.
system.
And
Nigerian
why
education
is it a
system.
It's a scam.
Why is it a
It's a
scam?
scam, yeah.
Because
The system, yeah.
Systems are outdated. We're having high expectations and low outcome. So we're having.
But there are still some advantages of the Nigerian
So if you
system.
ask me,
It's not totally useless. Let's be
if you
very
ask
frank.
me,
Okay.
the best advice
Yeah, it's not very
There's
useless.
another
That's how
example
we
from what you just said.
those who are about to get into
Your issues
university,
are strong.
those who are in university, while you are in formal education, try to acquire a skill. It's very key. While you are in formal education, try acquiring a skill. It could be photography and videography. It could be any form of.
Is this specific to the Nigerian
Yes.
system?
Because in the Nigerian system,
Yes.
Is it specific
if
to
you
it?
want to succeed out there in the real world, I can tell you for a fact that
Skill.
if you have skills
Okay.
and for pure vocational skill, I can tell you for free. The mechanic that repairs
I just remember something.
You wanted to be a mechanic.
car uses
Yes.
iPhone 16.
Okay.
One day I looked at him and said, Toby, how are you able to afford this? I said, oh God, if I tell you how much I did make
From this job,
Exactly.
proper English.
and our professors that study engineering,
If you remember, and
They go to mechanic
what
to
year
fix
what year
their
is
car.
this? What year
they go to mechanic to fix their cars.
2014. And Said commenced by that time.
Yes.
But I know when my stars served, years maybe 2010, there was nothing like Said.
Yeah.
So even the Nigerian government have seen that there is even nothing.
Yes. So that's why they
and
got
that person that application for imagine we have gone to school, we have certificates,
And they still
and I see for seeing you and say this is Said. And that was even the
now the sign is even
NIS.
complete because what do you learn in 3 weeks?
You get no, they do not tell them don't follow up, but everybody wants to make money. They want me to be coming for free classes.
To me, it's the only
So
thing.
that's why I said, as you
Beg,
go to
I beg,
school,
I beg, I beg.
ensure that you are learning a skill.
So why not we come from this angle of maybe a reset from the angle of growth of children?
Growth of children.
Yeah, what I mean is,
If you're going to better education in Nigeria, you're going to go a full total reset in the educational system.
From primary.
now exactly
Yes,
that's where I'm coming
yes,
from.
yes.
Not from primary.
because-
from the early child.
Because exactly, because what I'm saying is, I remember when I was very young, football as a left, and I'm a left footer.
No way for me.
Chai.
Imagine, I forgot they compete with Ronaldo by now. And when I was very young, every time my dad and my mom, there was something my mom said. I said that was when I was 9, my secondary school. My mom said when I was very young that she will notice that I will see someone, I'll be kicking it. And when she said I'll be kicking it, then my mom will say, that for this boy to be kicking it, ma go buy. She went and bought some like a little, but every time I'll be kicking it. And when she bought the ball, and ordinarily most time I left foot, and the more I grew up, I noticed that most time when I kick, I want to play but a particular sport. I will kick it and it will enter. Now in the group, my dad now come, Chibuzo, leave football, go and read book.
Exactly.
Every time you will tie a child to go and read book. And at the end, when I was growing and I knew anything, then they would tell us mass, further mass. You are stressing me.
Chai.
You are stressing me.
Well, let me tell you something. You
are stressing me.
You could have played football and still went to school.
No, at that time it was
Look
not.
for the
No, what I'm saying is that is where the system.
Like I apologize ahead if I pass it in video.
That's where the system comes in. If you go out
Making no chop.
and they discover that for instance in the UK, and they discover such skill in you, you are not the one that had that skill. I play football. My father uses us to cut my football boots.
Exactly.
I told you I should focus on
When there is doctor, when there is engineer, and I was lawyer, you want to be a footballer. For what?
I was a very good footballer. Now, what our parents, because there was no system
To structure everything.
to structure and scout children at that age. So, so if you are lucky, if you are lucky,
Exactly. They say that you're wasting your time playing
if you're lucky, a white man finds you
They even
and they scout you and take you out.
Would they have agreed at that
No,
time?
no, I'm just saying. But
that's
if you go to countries that have a proper structured educational system, if you don't pass, you know that Lami Yamal that you know,
Okay.
as at I think last year, he wrote the equivalent of our WAEC. If he did not pass it, he will have to rewrite it, or else certain things will not be allowed certain things to be done. You see all those footballers you are seeing in UK.
There's a
that went to
structured
academy,
system.
like Iwobi and Co. They all went to school. If you don't pass the exam, you will go back and rewrite it. Now that is a system.
It's a system failure. A scam system failure.
It's not a scam. It's a total system failure.
So you're
And
very
for us
footballer.
to be able to say education has succeeded in Nigeria, we need to have a
total
reset
reset.
of
Yeah.
our
Total
education
overhaul.
system, right from the early
childhood.
childhood.
Understand your child's talents. What can they
It's
do
not,
and
even if you understand your child's talent, if the system is not there, your child is not able to.
That time
make
cannot
talent.
explain.
So that system is very key. That is why you need this government to restructure the
The
system.
government is saying
Now,
you have to
every
be
day,
yes, entire best.
every
That's
day,
their own
they want
concept.
to delay
every and it's not by those kind of policies. Now that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about policies that attack the problem
from
from the
cause
roots itself.
Now, if every day, organizations like Small to School where I work, we attend educational symposiums, conferences, where we have to sit down together to do to make policies that we feel government should follow and all those things, and we suggest these things to the government, and government is not budging. So if government does not budge to all these policies that can help better the system, how do
Who
we
then
research them? Who then research
Trump.
because it is not you
Donald
and
Trump.
I. So
Trump will help us.
All right, guys. So we've heard from everybody today. We've heard from Mr. Chibuzo that plays in Dream League. You know,
Which dream? Straight bullet, no
he
problem.
plays in Dream League now, and we've heard from our marine biologist that does not go to the water anymore.
Imagine.
Can teach her to
So we heard from from me, and we realized that education is not a scam. It is a system that
Like a
has
scam.
issues, and it is a system that needs overhauling. And I feel like we haven't even exhaustively talked about this topic. Maybe there should be like another episode for it.
Yeah.
But we've come to the end of this final segment, and would love to see you on the next one. Stay safe. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.